I'm a very pessimistic person. I just look at negatives before they happen, so I'm kind of ready for it. And I've actually had a chat with old Chad Gupta about it. I said, "What is wrong with me?"
That's AI.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Chad put me in my place. All right, welcome back to Man First Podcast. I am Mixed.
I am J0.
We are brought by Zero Grid Studios, and we're just going to go right into the topic. First off, I want to say thank you everybody again for subscribing and watching. Please stick around for the conversation. We definitely want to hear back from everybody, so leave a comment down below. Subscribe to our channel. Love to hear from you. Go to our Facebook, go to our X, Instagram, YouTube, everything. Definitely want to hear from you guys, all right? So we're going to talk about success. Before we start, I'm going to ask you, in your own opinion, what is your definition of success?
My definition of success. Someone who has everything, they got their shit together, man. Like they have almost every aspect of their lives covered. Relationships, friendships, I guess with family, girlfriend, wife, or I guess financially as well. So, I mean, they're healthy. They got the gym or, I guess the beach bod, no homo, but,
Whoa, easy.
Oh yeah, my bad.
It's 2024, buddy.
But, you know what I mean? Just like they got everything, every aspect of their lives together. That's where I think success is.
What if somebody had most things together but not everything? Would you consider them unsuccessful? Like what if they had their business in order, they're the CEO of a company, they have all this money, but they just ended a relationship and it's been in shambles for a couple months? Are you saying that the person's not successful at that point?
I guess in a sort of way, what I'm framing my definition is like a perfect person. Is that what that kind of sound like?
Yeah, because that kind of moves that takes the goalpost very far downrange, and that's a very hard thing to do. I mean, that in my opinion, I'm only asking for your definition.
Well, this is what I'm chasing, sort of way. I think that every single part of where I failed is where I need to be better at. Like I'm trying. That's where the goal. I'm trying every single aspect. Chasing money, making sure I have that foundation. Like the whole aspect of getting a family or whatever. But that's not technically what I'm chasing. I'm trying to chase perfection, I guess you would say. Yeah. I guess I am trying to chase perfection.
Do you believe you'll ever get there?
No, I don't think I will ever get there, but what was that?
That was a bug. It was hanging out by your head for a little bit.
How did it get? Anyways, but yeah, so
well, I'm glad you said you're not chasing perfection because it's not attainable. Perfection is, you can do things great, but it can always be done better. Okay. So perfection, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way, you'll never attain perfection.
Okay, but what about excellence?
No, excellence is fine. Yeah, excellent means you're doing.
I think that's what I think I was. I think I used the wrong word. I was chasing excellence.
There you go.
Where I think excellence is someone who is successful, especially even if you are trying to chase it. I think excellence is obtainable.
Yeah, definitely.
Compared to everything else, that's like I said, I'm kind of chasing the bachelor life.
Right.
So therefore, I think that it's way much easier being alone, chasing excellence, than rather than, I guess, being with someone.
All right. If someone were to ask me what I would define success for me, I would consider myself successful if all of my obligations are fulfilled. Finances, I'm not worried about that. If somebody's hurt, done, paid for, house is taken care of, all the responsibilities are managed and taken care of, and there's no concerns, right?
Would you say that money solves all those problems?
Those problems, yeah. because everything I've listed so far was just basically financial things, right?
Yeah.
But once you get past that, what I'm saying, if you go any further, is you have your wife respects you. For me, my wife respects me. My kids love me. My kids are staying out of trouble. They come to me with any issues that they may have that I can help them out with. My wife sees me as a rightful person that she married. And my dog's not dead. You know what I mean? Cars are good, and I can reach out to family members, friends and stuff. We seen another book.
Yes, I think it's the same one.
He wants to be on the podcast. He's our first guest, man. That's cool.
We need to interview this guy. No.
Yeah.
But I was going to say that when the time span that we've been away from each other, I look at you. I thought you were successful. I was like, yo, he's got the white picket fence. He's got the house. He's got the woman. He's got the kids. I was like automatically telling myself, yo, he's already accomplished what I thought you were setting out to do. Cause I think you pretty much, I think it was kind of like your thing. Like, yo, I want the family. I want the kids. I want the house and I want the car, know? That's like I said, that's what I thought. I was like, yo, Trent is successful. He's got what he wanted,
You just said my government.
My bad.
On the
My bad.
Well, no, in that aspect, I believe that I know my kids love me. I know my wife loves me. I believe I have to continue to earn my wife's respect. I believe she respects me. I'm not saying that she doesn't. It's just,
in my perception or perspective, I think she does really.
Yeah. They're a thing. The only problem is the other half of the coin, or the other half of my definition, right? The financial part. Granted, there are things in the world we don't control. The economy, we don't control it. We kind of just respond to it. I'm not in a position where I can just make a decision and now I have $20,000, or I can make a call and now I have $15,000, or I have $40,000. I work, I clock in, I clock out. In my particular line of work, there's no guaranteed what you're going to get paid. Mm-hmm. You either work and do your job and sell, or you get nothing. I've had some good ass months, man. I've had months where I'm getting thousands. I've had months where I didn't even get a check, not a month, but paycheck, where I got nothing because I didn't sell anything. And that right there is the ebb and flow that I cannot, I can't get a constant, no concerns. I'm getting this amount and I'm good. If we can just base everything off of this amount, then we're going to be living fine. I don't have that.
Would you consider yourself, I guess it's a term, financially educated? Because I read that in a book that most Americans aren't financially educated. They just do exactly what they kind of just do what is expected them to do.
In terms of budget, in terms of like budgeting, I can budget. I can plan out where I need to pay this, pay that. I look at all my subscriptions, like, I'm not going to say the names, but all the streaming companies and such, car payments and all that stuff. So I can get all that. I have easy access to all that information. And from that, I can determine what I have to make in order to survive. And then you have the rising, groceries and such. So I can budget, I can plan, I can financially plan the next 6 months, right?
But you've never invested before?
No, the only somewhat investments I had was like when I was in the military, they had the thrift savings plan. It's like the military 401k.
Yeah.
And then when I when I got out and I started working, I had 401k because I depleted my entire TSP when I got out. So
no stocks.
No, I don't have investments, nothing, none of that. I don't know anything about it. And you should learn about it. Like, yeah, I could, but I don't get it.
It's, to me, that was like one of the biggest things that kind of turned my life around. I started learning to become financially educated for once, learning about, how money is used, why money is used. Mm-hmm. It kind of gave me a different mindset about money. So I know you always tell me like, oh, we don't need to spend this much, JJ. But I'm like,
ROI. I know that.
Like J0, you don't need to be spending that kind of much money. We can just budget and see where it goes from there. And then we can, upgrade. I was like, why can't we just get the best thing? Why can't we just have this shiny new thing?
Yeah.
It looks like it'll really work out for us. But anyways, like I said, I think that most of the time that the biggest improvement in my life was learning how money works, actually making a portfolio, learning about other companies, making your money start working for you. Like you just put your money somewhere, start investing. They use that money to grow the business. From the growing the business,
Right.
the investor makes money because the business is growing. It's, because you have some shares in that business.
Yeah.
Pretty much kind of like how crypto works. That's the same. This stocks and crypto, they kind of, I would say they're kind of the same in a sort of way, except crypto is a lot faster than stocks. That's the way I look at it. That's my own opinion, not financial advice. Do your own research, everybody.
Yeah, we're not advisors by any means. So
Yeah.
do your own do your research.
This is what I'm doing. Okay. You guys do your own research. Okay. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things, is that learning to be financially educated has put me in a position to be able to do all these things. It's risky, yes, but I don't look at money the same way you do. I don't look at it as a need. I just look at it as utility. And I think that's what most Americans don't really realize. They look at it as more of a consuming mindset rather than the investing mindset in a sort of way.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that I can learn from folks. I mean, I see the people that you watch on YouTube, and they talk about that all that aspect of money and everything. And like you said, we've talked about, I'm just not in a position to where I can take whatever little money I do have and burn this amount to maybe make some money, maybe lose some money. I just don't have that. This, what's it called, capital or something? I don't have the ability to take money out and maybe make something out of it. Everything I'm using is going towards living.
Something.
Survival, right? Yeah. So
that's pretty much how I think that a day-to-day Americans live in a sort of way, especially men today.
Yeah.
They want the money, but they use the money to take care of themselves or take care of their family members. And they don't really have the luxury, especially with everything that's going on right now, the inflation, groceries and stuff like that. They're all going up. So it's like we have little money now
Insurance,
to even, maybe, of course, I'm in the position, I'm by myself. I can actually.
You're in a very unique position.
Very unique position. Because I was like, I think I'm in the best position to actually make some serious money. And like I said, I learned I guess, a guy called, I think his channel is Minority Mindset. He's really, like, all the information, I soaked it in. And I was like, I can make a lot of money,
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, no doubt. Like if I was still single, and I'm happy I'm not. But if I was still single, I would definitely be doing something that I was passionate. Not saying I'm not passionate about this, but I mean, I wouldn't have gone the path I've got once. I probably would still be in the military, to be honest with you. I probably would have stayed in. But I don't know. I can't imagine not having a life without my family, because that's I think the best choice I've ever made, to have a family.
Right.
But let's say hypothetical and ultimate or alternate universe, I didn't have a family. I would have definitely gone after film and stuff like I was doing for a little bit, but priorities, what I mean? Yeah. You can't, there's no clock in if you're a filmmaker. There's no like show up to work and get your paycheck type situation. Either you produce a product and you have the ability to do so, or you don't. You know what I mean? And you have to start from the ground up when you're new into it and all that stuff. But I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't sacrifice anything that I have right now,
right,
to pursue that. You know what I mean? So right now it's just keep them alive, keep food in their stomachs and pillows under their heads, clothes on their back. And then when they're 18, 19, kick them out of the house. Go after your dream.
Yo. Oh, man. But for men today,
go ahead.
Success. I think that we have a video, right? To show? Yeah. We should definitely show it. I saw it online and it had me laughing, and it kind of tells. I think we should definitely analyze the situation. And
Is it the Elon one or the other one?
Let's go with the other one. The other one, the bar scene.
All right.
And yeah.
Let me see if I can get this to work, because okay. So
I think we should definitely analyze the situation and give our own thoughts about
yeah,
it.
that'll work. Okay.
Especially when it comes down to being successful, you know?
All right, go ahead, keep talking. I'm queuing it up.
Yeah, it's a bar scene, and I think it kind of goes into our topic when it comes down to the successful man, and then you got the unsuccessful man. So I think we should definitely analyze.
All right.
Audience, let's see what you guys think about the situation. We're definitely going to look at it and give our own perspective about it.
All right, let's take a look.
Hi.
Hi.
I saw you from across the bar, and I think you're really beautiful. Can I buy you a drink?
I'm actually just here with my friend.
Okay. You guys have a good night.
I don't understand why every guy in the city is so effing creepy.
I know, like, no thanks. I don't want to get tonight.
Appletini for the lady.
Hold on, damn second. Did she really just say that? I don't want to.
Yo, like I said, let's watch the full. Let's watch the full thing.
Sorry. Okay, here we go.
How'd you know? That's my favorite.
No, let me rewind a little bit.
I guess I just got lucky.
Major
How'd
plot
you
points.
know? That's my favorite. I don't want to get tonight.
Appletini for the lady.
How'd you know? That's my favorite.
I don't know, Lauren. I guess I just got lucky.
Have we met? Because I feel like I would remember you.
No. Although I am surprised you didn't wear your new red dress tonight.
What?
The red sundress you bought yesterday at American Apparel. You look really sexy in it. At least you did in the dressing room.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't wear it.
You want to get out of here? You really have no excuse because your period ended on Tuesday.
Would you kill me if I go?
I'll kill you if you don't go. God, he's like perfect.
Let's go.
I'm sorry. Did you
Girls are assholes.
Yo. Okay, so give me your what you think about that, man. Because a man was actually successful at, talking to the woman. He had I guess you would say the successful man look. He was
Right.
charming. He had the nice suit. He had the hair. He approached with confidence.
Yeah.
Look at the other guy. What do you think about the other guy?
He looked like a bum.
Yeah.
He looked bummy.
Would you,
He looked, actually, he looked like, what's his name? Facebook guy, Mark Zuckerberg. Looked like how he would dress. So who knows how much money he had,
uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was all that for that female. It was all based on perception. She saw a guy who looked bummy, wasn't as dressed up as she was. And her expectation was if she was going to talk to anybody, he would have to be at her level in terms of physical appearance or above. The guy didn't fit the bill. She blew him off. He was gone. Then this freaking psycho shows up talking about her. He knows her schedule and everything. And she was just turned on.
He was creepy.
It was creepy. 100%
but she was still smiling.
Right. She was turned on because of her senses, like her eyes, and maybe has
What
some
she was
cologne on,
attracted to.
what she was attracted to. So that clouded her judgment.
In no way we are promoting what that guy did. Okay.
Yeah, no. I don't, did I say anything?
No, I'm just saying, like, I know
yeah.
we're showing it like, as if this is the way you need to be. This is the kind of guy you need to be. But no.
I see what you're saying.
No way we're saying
no, not promoting that. We're just I guess we're just pointing out the obvious unfortunate perception that some women probably have. If he looks good, if he probably smells good, if he talks a certain way, if he approaches with confidence, he must be a good. because it blocks your ability to discern exactly what this guy's saying, and you pay more attention to the physical as opposed to listening to what they're actually the messaging that they're giving you.
Would you say that you can definitely take notes though on that, especially between the other guy? Because you said he looked bummy. Okay, he went to a bar dressing like that. Like, yo, how you really think you're gonna be successful looking like that?
Like I said, man, like that's how what's his name Zuckerberg dresses.
I mean, you can look like that, and you can think you have the game, and you can be charming, or I don't know. The thing is that the other guy, he definitely looked presentable. He definitely looked like he was successful, and he had the traits of what I thought was a successful. Because when I looked at the video, I was like, yo, this guy's definitely gonna, be successful.
He at least has the eyeball of somebody who's successful. That you can stereotype and say, yeah, that guy's he must be somebody. Yeah. The other guy, not so much. But I mean, just because he's wearing a suit don't mean he's successful. You know what I mean? Just because the other guy looked like he just came from a baseball game doesn't mean he's not successful.
Right.
So honestly,
I think you definitely need, for me, in my opinion, you definitely got to sell it, especially with, women, that sort of way. But if you want to be successful, I mean, you got to be like, it goes back to the whole self-image of yourself. When I tell men, I was like, yo, close your eyes. Think about the potential you want to, be at. What do you need to do to get to that potential? How do you get to looking like that guy,
Looking like, yeah, but
not being that personality or anything. I'm just saying, when it comes down to, especially women, that's exactly the perception you're supposed to have.
For the most part, women respond to authoritative males, right? Especially, I mean, if straight female, attracted to males, yada yada. Women, regardless of what I've heard, women say, "Oh, we want a sensitive." You remember what was that Bedazzled with Brandon Fraser, where he wanted to be he had with the devil. Oh, I wish I was the most sensitive man in the world, and he started crying at sunset and everything. And the girl wrote in her diary, "Oh, why can't I get a sensitive man, not a jerk who's just all macho and alpha and everything? I want a sensitive man that understands me." So he wished to the devil, was like, "Oh, I wish I was the most sensitive man in the world." And he's now the most sensitive man in the world, and he's on some beach with her, and she's like, "Oh," and then he's crying at the sunset, and he's crying about the dolphins, and he's making mayonnaise, and he's crying and blah blah.
Swimming by the ocean shore,
mayonnaise, swimming. Anyway, so he's real sensitive, and she gets tired of it real fast, and then these macho guys come around, and she runs off with them.
Yeah, we want to get out of here. You want to do something?
Like, "Oh, he understands me, so I just want to have sex with you." Great, I'll see you later, Elliot. And in my experience, that's true. But we talked about that earlier on a previous episode. Like, most women don't know what they want. So the best we can do as men is accomplish our goals. And if your goal is to be successful in this industry or in this business or in this venture in your life, or if your goal is to be the best version of yourself, focus on that, and get to the point where once you accomplish this, the women will come anyway. Tony Montana said it best. Montana from Scarface, right? He said, first you get the money.
I got that poster board in my room.
Right. First you get the money, then you get the power, and then you get the women, because the women will be throwing themselves at you at that point. So
that's pretty much where I'm at in life, because like I said, before, I would say I was very unsuccessful in life. Like, I was just all over the place. I had no structure. I had no frame. Like, I was just there, and I was just trying to figure things out. Like, why am I at where I'm at? Like, what do I need to do to be that successful guy, And I understood I needed to work. I understand I needed to get rid of debt and stuff like that. I can't be risking my money, learning how to budget and stuff like that. That's where it goes back to being financially educated. What would you say is the traits in your perspective, your own opinion, what traits do you think men need to achieve success?
I think number one is you have to be honest, mainly with yourself. You have to be able to call a spade. If something's working, say it's working. If something's not working, have the ability to acknowledge the fact that it's not working. You have to be resilient. You have to be able to face adversity. You have to be able to overcome hurdles that get thrown your way, because that's definitely part of it. I've come, I'm not gonna be able to do this because of the economy, and this is like, so what? You don't control that. Okay, what's your next move? Okay, this is a reality. Economy is bad. People aren't buying as much. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit around and bitch about it, or what are you gonna do? And that's something I have to deal with myself. And I catch myself bitching a lot about things that I have no control over. So that's something I have to work on, or not work on, just destroy. I have to beat that. I would also say
you're talking about, like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like that's adapting, right? Adapting to
adaptability.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because hardships come, the hurdles, the objections that you're going to get, the people saying, oh, you shouldn't do that because this is coming down the pipe, and you got to bob and weave all that to stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish.
I think that should definitely be inherited. It should definitely be inherited. As men, we've done that since the dawn of time. Yeah. So that is definitely something that should be in our DNA, this adapting to whatever situation that's happening. We don't just sit there and cry like, oh my God, I can't believe money is just not coming to me. And so, okay, what do you need to do? Like, don't sit there and complain. Think of the process to, achieving what you need to achieve.
I would also say that it takes a great deal of, if you don't love what you're doing, the excuses start to make more sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if in my work, what I do right now, do I love it? No. I don't love what I do. I do it because I'm okay at it. I'm not great at it. I'm able to do what I need to do in order to take care of my family. Right. If I had the option to do this for the rest of my life, knowing that I can actually live a pretty decent life monetarily, or the games that we play, if I can live off of that, dude, there's nobody would be able to get in my way. Like right now at work, there's so many things that I allow to stop me, only because I'm not in love with it. If my job called me to, let me stop. let me not, because this might be seen. No, it's just, I'm not in love with it. Maybe I've only been doing it for a couple years. Like, I've only been in it for like 6 years, right? That's a long time. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not. I work with some great guys that have been doing it for 30 years, right? But I'm not in love with it. I don't wake up in the morning and say, I get to do this. And I believe because of that, I don't have that loyalty to it. I don't have that drive, that fire to do it for another 25, 30 years. I don't have it because I'm not in love with it. Maybe not yet. Maybe it's just not meant for me. Luckily, they hired me. Luckily, I'm allowed to work there. So I appreciate that. Don't fire me, but
that kind of brings into the trait of, the work ethic, right?
Yeah. But what I was trying to connect it to was basically, if you don't love what you do, all the excuses and the hurdles and objections and adaptability, all the things that are going to stop you from being successful are going to make more sense to you. Because I start agreeing with the things that are preventing me from being better at my job. Oh, the economy's bad. Yeah, it is bad. Oh, the election's right around the corner. Yeah, people are the election. That's why people aren't coming in today. The election. Oh, it's because the new 2025s are coming out or something, or this new product just launched, so it's going to be a little bit slow. All that's bullshit. It's all bullshit. But because I'm not in love with my job, I allow that to seep into my brain, and I accept it as, this is why I'm not successful. But it's bullshit. I have to catch myself. And people at work, they say I'm negative, even though most of the times I'm saying things that are reality. But it's just a negative outlook. And I'm a very pessimistic person. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I'm very pessimistic.
I should have named that one as one of your flaws.
Yeah, I'll name it for myself. That's number 4. I'm a very pessimistic person. Because I just look at negatives before they happen, so I'm kind of ready for it. And I've actually had a chat with old Chad Gupta about it. I said, "What is wrong with me?"
That's AI.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Chad put me in my place. It's like, what is wrong with me? Like, why?
What did it say, yo?
Oh, I'll go over that with you.
Okay.
We'll have a full therapy session with Chad Gupta. But anyway, back
Any
to
other strong traits that will help you achieve success?
you just got to be an asshole.
Mm.
Sometimes you have to be an absolute asshole.
I think I've become that with my own family. It's like they used to look at me as the problem solver. Now I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it.
Not my,
Not my problem.
Yeah.
Hey,
The reason
you got YouTube to fix that problem. You know that, right?
the reason I say that is because when I look at across the board, across different professions, look at the so-called best, right? You look at your Michael Jordans, your Kobe Bryants, your LeBron James, kind of, I guess. But in my industry, in the car sales industry, the top guy I've ever met, like I said, I've only been doing it for a little bit, but there's only one guy I've ever known personally that sold over 50, 60 cars a month. And the dude was an asshole. Like he would bury you if you got in his way. But he was a cool dude to talk to, on a personal level. You can have a conversation with him. We'd shoot ideas back and forth, but he was an asshole and he would play beyond the rules in order to accomplish his goals, while the rest of us have to stay inside the rules. He played on the outside because he was productive. He was allowed to by the management.
Well, he's getting work done. So
he's getting 50 cars. Who the hell's going to, what manager who's been doing it for 30 years is now a used car manager going to tell him what to do? You know what I mean? So he was an ass. This is how the best way I described it. He broke all the right rules and didn't follow all the wrong ones. I think that's what no. So you have to know how to break the right rules and I forgot how I said it. I'm fucking it up right now, but he didn't. He played by the rules with the top guy, the owner, right? The GM, general manager. But everybody in between that, they were just there to him. Like for him, they just worked there. Yeah, he had to go to them, but I've seen him put some high up people in their place.
What?
You think about it, he's their moneymaker.
Yeah.
So, but again, talk about Michael Jordan. You saw The Last Dance, right? The documentary about his last season in the NBA in 97, 96. Well, they followed the Bulls for like 3 years. And this was back in the 90s. And he had quit and then he went to baseball, then he came back. Well, they followed him around, right? The Bulls.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was an asshole. He was a tyrant to the Bulls. He didn't let anybody get away with anything. He was a bully to Kerr. He was a bully to Grant, to Pippen. Everybody was a bully to Pippen his rookie year, but he didn't let up. And he respected these people, but he said, look, if you're here, you're going to fucking play. And you're going to play to be the best. And if you're not paying to be the best, we're going to get rid of you. We are going to get rid of you. He's a player. But he's a top guy. He would talk shit, he would call people pieces of shit. Like, you ain't shit. Not just like me and you just talking shit to each other. He meant it. Like he would tell you, like, you ain't shit. He'd talk Tony Kukoc, you just wasting money. And he had to really get under people's skin. But that's what it takes. Because some people just want to show up and play. Kobe said the same thing. People want to just show up and play. Said, I'm here 4 o'clock in the morning. I run my own practice. Team shows up at about 10 or 11. I run that practice. They leave. I start my second practice, my personal second practice. And then I have to hit 100 free throws before I can even think about leaving.
Wouldn't you say that is kind of a leadership quality that you're supposed to have in a sort of way?
You have to be an asshole.
It's like you have to be the person nobody wants to be.
I wouldn't say that. You have to. I would think
maybe I'm framing it wrong or saying it wrong.
I hear what you're going to, but I would think it's more along the lines of you have to do what you have to do what they can't do, and that most times means being an asshole.
Right.
You have to sometimes be that piece of shit that they might need in order to get them to do what you need them to do.
Yeah.
I learned that very quick when I was in the military. When I made E6, when I was at E4, you're not in charge of anybody. When you're at E5, in my position, I was on a frigate, so there was a very small ship, very small division. Everybody was either an E4 and E5 in my division, right?
Right.
But when I'm 86, I'm in charge of people now. The initial thought was I want everybody to be cool with me. I want everybody to feel comfortable. I'm gonna do my job. I want them to do their job, and we're all gonna joke around. It's gonna be a great thing, and work's gonna be awesome. That doesn't work when you're dealing with people. You have to be an asshole sometimes. You fucking have to, and it's very awkward when you are coming up with your buddies and your friends, and you get promoted and they don't. So now you're in charge of them.
Yeah.
And now you have to tell your buddies what to do, and
Yeah.
they have to call you.
When I was in the military, I was on a carrier, and, I was working on the flight deck, us grapes, pulling out fuel hoses.
Right.
And, I was, like I said, I was comfortable in my own little thing, and I was joking around with everybody. And, they were waiting for people to step up to be leaders because, of course, people were leaving the ship and people were coming on the ship. Their time was up. But I was like, I don't mind still being under somebody, But, no, Johnson, you're going to be a leader now. Now you got to tell these guys what to do. I need you to tell that guy to get out there and fuel that, that one jet. And I'm like, well, I can go do it. No, I told you to tell one of your guys to get out there and do it. And I'm like, oh, man, but I don't want to.
Can I just do it?
I mean, because that's the way I was. I was like, I'll be that nice guy. And, you guys relax. I'll go take care of it in a sort of way. But like, no, you're a leader now. So therefore you have to tell one of your guys to do it.
You have to, what's it called? Not obligate, but it's, what's it called?
To me, it was a voluntold type deal.
What's it called when you take a task and you push it on somebody else that's underneath you? There's a phrase for it. I forgot what it's called. It's not obligate, but it's that's gonna drive me crazy.
Yeah.
But basically, that's an essential thing. Whenever you're in a leadership position, not the biggest, but one of the biggest things you have to remember is there are people underneath you looking to you for guidance,
Right.
in leadership. And if you can't fulfill that, you need to get the hell out the way. And being a boss of something, I was supervisor situation, leading PO type situation. So I've been in that position before. They're coming to you looking for help. Either they want to understand something better. They don't know how to do something. They want to know what life is like in this aspect, what they can expect. They're coming to you for something.
Right.
And you may not have the answer, but you have to at least point them in the right direction. And sometimes people look at you as like you're not the leader they wanted. You might be good at it, but you're not what they wanted. So that's when you have to be the asshole.
Right.
Like, I don't give a fuck what you want. I don't care what you think. I'm here and you're here. I'm in charge of you. Go do what I fucking told you to do. And obviously today you can't really say shit like that. Even in the military, apparently you can't talk like that no more. But
when I ask you this, what comes to mind? You gotta go to war with yourself to change yourself. Kind of is the motto of our thing, the whole rewire the mindset, the rebooting the man,
you gotta go to battle with what you become comfortable with.
I think that's like one of the biggest things that I done to achieve success. Because remember I told you, the guy I was before, I was like, this guy is a bitch, like I need to really do something, so I looked at myself, I guess, in a sort of way, in a reflection, mirror. I'm looking at myself.
Don't mind me. I'm that word is driving me nuts. I have to figure out what it is. I'm listening.
What I'm saying is that you go to war with yourself. You kind of have to just break yourself down and rebuild yourself. And that's like one of the biggest things I had to do to be successful. And I had to really be hard on myself too. I was like, how in the world are you living this way? Who you were before, when it comes down to being a man.
Delegation. You have to delegate.
Delegate.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, so like I said, delegate. But yeah.
So happy now.
Yeah, so I definitely went to war with myself because I was like, all these bad habits, they're so comfortable. You gotta get in the gym. You need to build yourself get stronger. Because, I remember, I guess I worked at a warehouse job and I was weak. I couldn't even lift up these pipes. I guess we were putting together these air conditioning units. And I'm like shaking my arms. I had no upper body. I was like, yo. So that was like one of the biggest things that I worked on myself is that, I need the stamina. I need the endurance. I need to keep going. I need to learn to actually be able to do the job. I need the muscle. So I, push-ups, sit-ups almost every night and day or whatever. And the mind, my mind was totally bad. I guess to handle the real world, you definitely need to get out there and I guess, how would you say, just like, I don't know, deal with all the problems and the struggles and all the things that come your way. You definitely need to know how to deal with it. I guess, remember I told you, I think you're stoic. That's what I always saw in you. I was like, yo, this guy just looks at you and like,
wow. Well, that's a tactic. That's if anytime you're being faced with someone who's just going off or something, just let them talk. Just let them go. Don't go back and forth. That's one thing I don't do. I don't argue.
Yeah,
especially with a man.
I found myself doing that more instead of reacting. So like I said, I used to be very reactive. Now I'm just like, okay, so what do we need to do to solve the situation?
Well, depending on the situation. If it's somebody who's equal to me in the professional sense, like if I'm a whatever and he's the same thing, if somebody's going off on me, I just listen and I just stare at them. Let them tire their little mouths out and keep going, because I'm not going to go back and forth with a guy. To me, it's like, if it's that serious to you and you're that mad, are we going to fight or are we just going to talk to each other? Because you can summarize everything that you're saying right now, get it over with. Summarize it. I'm not here to hear your shit. Just cut to it. Cut to your shit, and then if you still feel away, then we'll figure out another way to take care of this. But if you're just mad about something and then just get to that. You don't have you don't have to beat around the bush. But
did you ever have to do that? Like change yourself in a sort of way? Like, did you ever have to go to war with yourself to break everything down? Like, okay, look, this guy is not working. I need to be something else. I need to be successful, like I need to be,
I mean,
that's what I'm meaning by going back to this whole self-image. To me, there's a book I was reading. It was called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's like, I understand, men, we're not machines or whatever.
Yeah.
But there is like something inside of us that is a machine, and we need to learn to program it, do all these rewiring and, do all the, adapting to situations, stuff like that. I think men, we need to learn how to use that machine. We need to use it.
Yeah. To answer your question, I think it was right before I joined the Navy. I knew where I was kind of going, which was like nowhere. I just had a job, and it was a good job. It's just, it was very little pay, relatively speaking. And I had to stop. I had to get the hell away. I had to go. I was in a relationship at the time, but I wasn't going to be able to be where I wanted to be if I stayed in where I was at. So I was like, yeah, the military is not the only option I had at the time, but it made the most sense for me because I wanted a change in my life. I was living under my grandparents' roof. Much love to them. They didn't have to have me there, but I was bouncing around actually for a little bit because I had to leave my house. I went to your house. I left your house, went to a friend's house, and then I went from a friend's house to my grandparents' house. And it just became, I was like, what am I doing in my life? Whoever this teenager that I still am, I'm 20 at this time, like the teenager that I used to be, I still am. Mm-hmm. Fuck that, man. No, I'm done. I have to do something on my own. So the military was there, and I think that's my answer for you. Like, I think when I decided to join the military is what I can recall, at least. I'm sure there's other times. Oh, actually, there's another one. It wasn't life altering, but it was like one of those fight or flight type situations. I don't want to, it's kind of, it's a little bit of story, some context in it, but in the Navy, you ever heard of VBSS?
Sounds familiar.
Visit board, search and seizure. The people on your ship, you see a drug ship or something out there and they have to get onto the boat, go out to it and respect. I was a part of that team. Now, yeah. So I was a part of that team in training to get qualified to do it. We were sent out to Hawaii and we did a lot of training with the Wolf Brothers. Anybody who knows them, they know that they're serious. We did this drill every morning where we're rolling on mats. Basically, we're, warming up for the day, wrestling and a little bit, not like crazy, but we had this drill we had to do and they had a little tournament, a little competition. I was not a physical person at that point in my life. Like I wasn't afraid to get down with something, but I stayed away from it. But in that moment, it's fight or flight because everybody's eyes are on you and the other guy. And I've never been in that position before. I've never been karate and all that stuff. So I've never been in that position. So something inside me, it was just like, fuck it, bro. Just go all out. Like, just go all out. Just do it. Do whatever you got to do. I ended up winning. Like for my weight class, I was the top guy, but I was like 180 or something at the time. I wasn't no heavyweight or nothing, but
going back to that whole stoic thing, what do you think about the word emotional? Well, the term emotional intelligence.
I don't know what that means. I've heard it, but I don't fully have a grasp of what that means.
Women use it a lot lately. They say that, he needs to be have some emotional intelligence. Well, what do you think?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, so,
I don't know what that means.
It's funny because it was listed on, top 10 traits of men should be used to achieve success. And I was like,
emotional intelligence?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well,
is that a subjective term?
To me, in my opinion, is that it goes back to that whole stoic thing. I mean, if you're emotionally intelligent, of course, you're going to know how to deal with your emotions in a sort of way.
Okay.
But when it comes down to women, it's like a whole different perspective. They say that, he should be able to understand the feelings that I'm getting and respond and react to it. He should definitely. And I was like, well, the definition, what you're saying is kind of what we are as men. We kind of are emotionally intelligent because we know how to handle our own emotions. Well, not, I want to say all of us do, but I would say a man.
I don't know. I mean,
I guess,
a lot of males, unfortunately, today don't know how to control their emotions. That's why most males are in prison.
Yeah.
We don't. And I mean, I don't know if I should say this, but it's a fact. Statistically speaking, not most, but okay, I'm just saying it's a fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a single mother household, don't hate me. I'm just reporting, right? I'll bring up stats.
I've experienced it. Go ahead.
In a single mother household, not single parent, specifically single mother households, the male child is more likely to end up in jail or, in some type of nefarious position.
Yeah.
Right. Just because this is where I start injecting my thoughts. I think it's because you're raised by an emotionally driven person, namely the female, right? The mother. And you learn those traits over time. Now, what the young boy doesn't understand is in society, women are allowed to be emotionally outward with, they're allowed to be outward with their emotions. They're allowed to explode because society typically 70, 85, 90% of the time just looks at it as a woman venting, right? Well, that's no big deal. It's just, she's losing it. She's letting off the little bit of steam. But let a man let off the same steam. He's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Call police. Get him out of here. He's a danger. He's a threat to the community. But if a woman snaps, she's probably going through some stuff. So the little kid sees the woman being able to get away with it. Therefore, now he can get away with it.
He thinks he can get away with it.
Right. That's the idea. So now he explodes and he reacts emotionally. He reacts. He doesn't respond. To say somebody calls him out or calls him a name. Fuck, you call me. That's an emotional reaction.
I see a lot of that lately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely what's going on.
It's an emotional reaction because that's how they're raised. But
he actually goes straight to violence in a sort of way. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not trying to go on a tangent against women. Again, we're not against women. It's just this is a reality that we have to face if we want to be successful, right? Let's face reality. Yeah, it's emotionally intelligent. I don't know if that means we have to be able to acknowledge or identify what a woman is, why a woman that a woman feels a certain way about something. That's not our job. It is not my job to decode your emotional state.
Right.
Say what you're feeling. If you're not going to say it, I'm not going to, and I'm not. If you're not going to express your feelings to, women, not you, but then don't expect me to just know. It's that whole like, what are you going to get her for her birthday? I don't know. She didn't say she wanted anything, so I'll just have to make something up. But she's dropped hints. I don't do hints. Like, I don't. Move your mouth and let words come out that answer the question of what do you want. If you close mouths, don't get fed. Say what you want, or you're not going to get anything. That's how I feel.
I mean, what you say there, ties into definitely, I guess it can lead towards a successful relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the whole emotional intelligence, I would say stoicism. Stoicism. I can't even say the
You're
word.
good.
But anyways, I would say you definitely need to have that in almost every category that a man deals with, when it comes down to achieving success, when it comes down to finances, when it comes down to relationships with your family, just learning to deal with a lot of stuff and know how to react to it. And I think, most men definitely will be able to achieve success when you're able to, like I was saying, you try to, rewire your mindset. You try to become that rock, I guess, yeah, that foundation in sort of way. But I think, I guess the last thing that I want to say is that the whole work atmosphere, the work atmosphere, when it comes down to achieving success, what made you, what do you believe that made you successful when it comes down to the work atmosphere?
I wouldn't use the word successful with me.
Or I mean, I'm saying, like, how do you believe you will be able to achieve success in your work environment?
A lot of sacrifice. I'm stuck in my ways in a lot of things. One thing I've found myself believing in and falling into is, and I do believe it to a degree, but mental health is important, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is such thing as working too hard, working too much. That's real. Like you drink too much water, you drown, right?
You think men have the luxury of thinking that way though? Especially nowadays, what's
after
going
the
on?
fact, yes. After you achieve success and you're in that position, yeah, you then have that luxury. Michael Jackson recorded Thriller in like 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest album ever. He recorded, I think, History or not Dangerous, but some album later over 2 years, right? Once he hit that point, he wasn't rushed anymore. He didn't have to record any more music. He wanted to. Now, he didn't have to do Thriller, but he wanted to do that. But he had limited time. So they were working around the clock, 24 hours a day to get every song right. And they recorded, I think, like 50, 60 songs for that album. They only picked like 8. So there is such thing as working too hard. Now, granted, in that case, it was a great result, right? Propelled them into superstardom, right? Most men don't have that. You can work as hard as you want. Maybe you make it, maybe you don't. In most cases, men don't make it. I'm just saying the reason I bring that up in terms of mental health is the fact that you have to pick what you're willing to sacrifice. Kids cannot grow backwards. They cannot degrow.
Right.
Do you want to sacrifice that birthday party? Do you want to sacrifice that graduation? Do you want to sacrifice your wife's thing that she has to do or she wanted to do, or this celebration for this thing? You want to sacrifice that to go make $300-400? If you do, in 5-10 years, you might be in a better place successfully.
I agree.
But what have you sacrificed for it? All these things you'll never get back. Time. You'll never get that time back with your family. Next thing you know, kid's 25 years old.
Yeah.
and their whole childhood is just a blur in your memory. Granted, you might be able to send them to Yale, Harvard, all these Ivy League schools because you worked hard that whole time, but they don't know you. There's no memories to look back upon. You have to balance that scale. So that's why I say if you work too hard, the scale goes like this.
Yeah.
If you don't work enough, scale goes like this. Somehow you seesaw, you know what I mean? You have to find how to get that easy rhythm, not easy rhythm, but even rhythm. Sometimes you're working really hard, but other times you're spending a lot of time with family. I'm like this. I will work as hard as it takes to get something done.
Right.
But I'm not going to sacrifice time that I can never get back. Because what's the priority there? You know what I mean? Is my kids the priority? Or is the ability to feed my kids the priority? It's both. So you have to go back and forth. I'm doing this a lot. I just realized I'm doing this for
yeah, you're doing what I do a lot of times.
I'm juggling.
I'm always using my hands when I talk.
Right.
Starting to feel like Kamala here. Like, hey, well, we over here, be over there. But yeah,
so we're at 55 minutes. We're creeping up on that hour.
Let's go. Let's exit with the Elon Musk video.
Go ahead and I'll cue it up.
I looked at this video and I think it kind of relates to what I'm doing, how I look at my situation with driving a semi truck almost 11 hours a day. And I've always told myself this is for a reason. This is the way you get to success. Consistency, you got to be patient for everything to come to you. You just got to work really hard. And I know you said that, there is a such thing as working really hard. Yeah, too hard. But I kind of built myself to push myself to work really hard. So I guess I adapted to pushing myself, getting up in the morning, driving these trucks 11 hours a day, the miles I go, dealing with the people. I just keep pushing myself. And I know that if I keep driving these hours, I know my success will come, But yeah.
Go ahead and hit
Elon Musk is like the Einstein of our time. So he pretty much says some really good stuff right here.
All right, here we go.
Just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100 hour weeks every week. Those things improve the odds of success.
Okay.
I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve. Just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. When I saw this video, I was like, yo, that's definitely my life.
Yeah.
I really try to put in way more hours. Hey, if you work 8, I'm definitely going to be working 10 to 11 hours,
Yeah.
I try to be that guy on the, I guess the work ethic. I try to be that guy that they go to, and I think this is one of the biggest reasons why, I was able to do and exactly what you said, the whole sacrifice thing. I lived in my truck for 3 months, man, microwave food, just living in the truck, no bathroom, like I said, I lived below my means in order to achieve most of the things that I have now and get where I am financially. But yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Everybody, appreciate if you listen to this point. I want to say thank you again. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell so you get all the notifications when we do post. Every show is going to be on Mondays and Fridays, and shorts will follow throughout the week. Follow us on X, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Our videos are going to be on Rumble very soon, and TikTok. Again, we got to figure that out. I don't fully understand that.
Yeah, I'm actually been looking at it, but yeah, we'll see what we can do.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody for watching us. And again, I am Mixed.
I'm J0.
See you next time.
Latest.